Welcome to the first day of class on Zoom anyway, but next week I will see you all in person. And today I'm going to talk about myself a little bit and then structure the class, and then we'll do endocrine system, your glands and hormones. We'll do half of it, and then you get the other half. I'll talk about it. I'll do a little review and then finish it up next week when I see you, either Mondays or Wednesdays. All right, so I'm excited. This is good stuff. I know most of you, 90-some% of you, but for those I don't, come say hi after class, and I'll see a lot of you in lab, and look forward to getting to know the new people too. All right. All right, here we are. A&P2. So anatomy, physiology, you can't cover it even in a whole year, 2 semesters. We're just skimming the surface. I mean, for you thinking, oh, there's a whole hell of a lot of information here. It doesn't seem like we're just skimming over things. But of course, you can go into detail on any one of these topics that in much more detail. Those interested, athletic type people interested more in the muscles or cardiac or nutrition. I'm going to do a little bit of all these things over the course of a year. And I want you to leave here having a good basic knowledge of anatomy and physiology overall. All right. Let's take a look. So me, and then again, most of you know, but just real briefly, I was a biology major. I thought I'd go into medicine, and decided I liked ecology and evolution and being in the field. And I would hunt and fish with my grandpa in northern New York, which is a lot like Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. It's the same kind of level there. So I love the woods out there, fishing and hunting, things like that. Anyway, so biology major, I said, oh, I'll go to graduate school. I don't know what I want to do. And I did that. Met up with a professor I really liked, studied frogs and salamanders and snakes. And so got my master's, and then I went on to get my PhD at the University of Kansas, and studied tropical frog community, their anatomy and their diet. So I dissected, 800 some frogs and saw what was in their stomachs and identified it. And so it's a long story there. But my research interest is reptiles and amphibians, and I collect skulls, animal skulls and bones, all that kind of stuff. And I got a paper that's going to come out looking at in the spring. If you guys are interested, you can do this too. The amphibians cross the road when in April, well, maybe March, April, they'll cross the road to find the breeding ponds, and then they'll go back and they'll breed briefly, right? And we found out that last year in COVID times, especially in March and April, it's just beginning, that nobody was on the road. Traffic was way down, and that amphibians did really well. They didn't get smashed on the road as much. So it's called Big Night in Maine. You can look it up on Facebook if you're interested in helping save frogs and salamanders when they cross the road in the spring. And so I'll be doing that again this spring. And of course, I taught a lot of anatomy, gross anatomy for a decade with cadavers and such. So our, muscles and bones and even nerves that we did were just a handful compared to the detail you could go in the anatomy part of it, right? And yeah, and you can see I've taken students all over the world, love tropical places. And with COVID here, talking about disease, I've taught a senior seminar looking at how disease affects culture and such. So it's good stuff. We're living right through it. All right, in terms of what you need for the class, all of you that took it last semester shouldn't have to buy anything. But you need, of course, the Connect access. I saw 29 out of the 106 of you have gone to that first assignment on Blackboard. Click on it, takes you to Connect. You got to sign up for this course, A&P2, Spring 2021. And from there, that's where we'll do our homework, our quizzes. You can look at the ebook to read the book. Everything will be administered there, the online kind of part. And then for lab, you need this CurriCloud. And so you all should have an invitation. It may be under LT or CurriCloud, it could be in your spam folder, but you want to accept that invitation. and it will take you to this semester's Kura Cloud lab. And there's already one up there you can do already on diabetes, something you're going to do online this week. And then next week, we'll get right into it, looking at blood and endocrine system. All right, so you need all this, again, starting right away. If you don't have the Kura Cloud or something like that, you need to get it. There's a link in the syllabus. It's on Blackboard. You can, it's like $42 for a semester, something like that. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Any questions? Like some of you have specific questions, like is my card still good or it's not working? I can't answer that. It's call the company, you know, LT or McGraw-Hill. I mean, I'm very polite. I'll try to help you, but that's not really my thing. Like I don't deal with passwords or anything like that. So you get that set up, and so that's the big thing. That's early on. Get your Connect ready, your Kura Cloud ready, and then it's just you guys' work studying this stuff. All right, like last semester, the lab portion is worth a 25%, and then the lecture portion is worth the other 75. Look at it that way. And most of the lecture grade will be on 4 exams. And the last exam will be, we'll have some comprehensive questions. And as we get to the end of the semester, I'll give you a study guide, but kind of big picture things you should know from the rest of the class. What else? You can see quizzes and homeworks. Those are homeworks you guys get 99, 100% because as long as you don't miss deadlines. And again, that's on you. Don't come to me, you know, at the end of the semester, you know, can I redo those, you know, 10 homeworks I didn't do? No, you know, it's you guys are responsible. Watch those deadlines, get those done. Not only easy points, but it's how you learn. You do these homeworks, and it's very useful. These are professionals that in how to learn. So you put the time in, you read the chapter, you do the learn smarts, and take the quizzes seriously, all these things. And having done looking at the grades, you know, I hate to say it, but all of you have not completely honest in doing your exams and such without using help. I mean, I'm just not, don't look shocked. It's just the way it is, looking at the grades and the patterns and things like that. So the exams will be in person here and for the most part, but just to let you know, it's, you guys, it's your honor. That's what's driving you to not cheat, to not ask other people. Let's do it together. I mean, that doesn't help you. And on my end, I mean, I know this stuff, and it's you guys are here to learn it, and you could just breeze through it and cheat and kind of get a good grade, but what's that going to do for you? Like, oh, get my job. Well, then your first year classes, you're not going to know this stuff, and other people will. Anyway, I just getting into this. Just when I think about it, it's just kind of maddening why you wouldn't. I mean, I understand being under pressure and such, but this is your opportunity here. Take your time. You got time to learn this stuff so that you know it. And so indeed. So just put that out there. How to do well, of course, keep up with the material, do it. Just take the time to learn this stuff. I would make my own study guides if I was trying to study for this, or flashcards or Quizlets, whatever it takes. There's going to be a lot of information, vocabulary, and the tests are multiple choice and true false. And just like you'll see the Learn Smart questions are. So the more you do them, the better you get at it, and the more you just have this material. And if you have been keeping up, you'll be ready at test time to go. You know, if you take the test, you'll do it very quickly because you'll recognize the answers and you'll be fine. So how's that for, you know, you can work with each other, I guess, you know, COVID safely and such. I'm here. Office hours, I mean, I'll be in my office sometimes, and I'm happy to meet in person, masked, or we can Zoom too. And the lab portion, I'll teach 3 of the labs, and then Sylvia Smith, a friend of mine, teach one. It's online. I'm sure, has contacted you on that. And then Wendy Roberts is also a good friend of mine, and she'll teach a Friday afternoon lab. Where there is room there in case if you were to miss a lab, I'm sure we could ask Wendy and put you in that one if you miss one. All right, and then there's going to be 3 lab practicals, and then there'll be 10 quizzes, multiple choice questions after the Kura Clouds. You know, you guys tend to do pretty well on those. All right, so for those of you that are new, this is, hopefully I didn't go too quickly. The syllabus is on Blackboard under syllabus. You can read it in detail. I don't print it out. I'm not going to go over it in detail, but it has the rules, no extra credits. The grading scale is there. So, and you guys can check your grade constantly on Blackboard. It's there. That's your grade. And you can calculate where you're at, et cetera, on your own. So no mystery, no grade book. I give you your grades back immediately. Like that's important to me to make sure I grade things right away. So yeah, it's in your hands and I'm here to help you, I guide you, read the book. The information's there, but I'm going to lecture to make it interesting and help you guys connect. People learn different ways. And so that's my job. I take it seriously is to have you guys have success in learning this, really learning it because anatomy physiology is the best. I mean, it's your body, how it works. We're going to go through your heart and we'll do look at your electrical of your heart and the plumbing, your pressure, look at your lungs, your breathing, your digestion, and your blood. And we're going to start out with hormones. It's really great stuff. So it's really interesting. I don't know how someone could say it's boring. I mean, it's so good. Yeah, anyway, you can tell I'm a fan, right? All right, and if you look at the schedule, again, you will see that this is the first week it's going to be online. Just because it's starting in the middle, I don't want any of you students to have a different experience. So all your students will have one in-person lecture. I'll give the same one Monday and Wednesday, and then I'll put up something online. And I'll put it on Blackboard as the Zoom link. And that has like a transcript if you can't understand me, you want to read it. And then on YouTube, I'll put it up there also. And that's sometimes more convenient. I mean, you can look at these lectures anytime, day or night on your phone or anything like that. So there's no like synchronous, we're all going to get together on Zoom because there's 106 of you. It's going to be, you can do it at your own pace. And then you come to a lecture either Monday or Wednesday. And you can see I have on that Excel sheet which group you're in. There's only so much room in the room. So for us to safely be in there, it's over in the forum. All right. Very good. The reading, all the COVID rules and stuff, they say to wipe down your table before you come in your area. So you should probably do that. That's all I'm going to say. I assume it's clean in the nighttime, but maybe you don't want to assume it. We want to be careful. And in lab, it breaks my heart. I mean, honestly, it's the words I've used to not be able to do some of these labs. We can't do the breathing lab where you breathe out as hard as you can, right? I mean, this is the absolute, worst thing in COVID times, even though we're being as safe as we can. So, moving some of these things to just learning kind of online. But I'll be damned if we're not going to look at your ECG, put the leads on yourself, and we'll be able to see that up there. So I'm going to do as much as I can. And the first lab with blood, fascinating. We'll be taking your own blood and typing it, and staining it, and doing a hematocrit. And so, yeah, I'm going to do as much hands-on, but we'll have, just 12 people in the lab so that we can spread out and do it safely. All right, looking at it here, you can see the first exam, the week of February 8th. So some of you take it Monday, some of you take it Wednesday. And yeah, that's very good. It's only after 2 chapters, not that long chapters either. So I just think with the practical, after only a couple labs, it's going to give you a chance to really start off strong, because then cardiovascular system, the next chapter, there's a lot with the heart, as you can imagine, your heart, your blood pressure, all these things like that. Another exam, then you can see the third exam will be urinary and respiratory. And you guys struggle somewhat on this exam. The kidneys, the physiology is a little complex. And then we'll finish it off with digestion, reproduction, and nutrition, that kind of thing at the end. And so schedule is there. One difference from last semester is I'll have the practicals be, you're going to take it the same day. I listen to you guys' your comments on the evaluations and stuff, and we can split the lab in half, an hour and a half. So when you see that practical days, you're all going to come to lab. Just we'll do half in the first half and half in the second half of class, and we'll get those done. All right, take a look. And your lab cohort is different than your lecture. So we have 12 in the lab at a time. And you can see you're either in person doing a lab or you're doing one that's online. in current cloud. And they have quizzes that I'll grade. What do you guys think? You can read this, you understand? So next week, you can see endocrine system. Yes. Next week, you'll come to class either Monday or Wednesday, depending on what cohort, and you'll hear me lecture. And then I'll lecture on endocrine system. We'll take a little break in the middle, and I'll finish off what I'm going to start. I'm actually going to make it a separate lecture here because it's getting kind of long. And then you'll also be seeing online is going to be a online lecture on the blood. I'll start the blood and I'll record that. So if you have your cohort Mondays, come to class on Monday, and then there'll be a blood lecture that you can also see. And if you're cohort Wednesday, you'll come, there'll be that blood lecture still. You can see it anytime you want. And you'll come Wednesday to hear me lecture the same lecture. All right. And then with lab group, if you're lab group the A, you will come to lab next week. If you're not, you won't come to lab next week, but do this endocrine system lab. That will be up there for you. Then the next week, you will come to lab in person. All right. And then practical week, everyone will come to take the practical. It'll be based on, I may ask a couple of diabetes questions, and then but blood and endocrine especially. All right. I think I belabored that a little much. Yeah. All right. So what else? I think I'm going to just cut this off, and this will be our introduction to the class. So if you know me, I'm passionate about anatomy, physiology. My interests are, in bugs and trees, and especially bones and comparative anatomy and reptiles, amphibians. So that's kind of my, my interest. But I've been teaching this now, I think it's like my 8th year or something at UNE, and I taught in Iowa and in Missouri State before that. So I was in the Midwest, but I've come back to take this job at UNE, and I love it. Motorcycle, I got a boat. Didn't get a deer this year, for those of you that are wondering, but spent a lot of time in the woods, which I love. And you guys, you feel free. I look forward to getting to know you better. And most years, I know all of your names. It's just, I can't take, pictures of you to study, like, groups, because we can't really get in groups. So I'll think about it, because I know some of you, of course, but I know all of you that were in my class, but the names, I should know all of them. So anyway, my issue. Happy to have you guys back. Hope you're excited. Look at this great stuff. We're going to look at kidneys and heart and breathing and reproductive system and digestion and nutrition, all these great things. So good stuff. And I think I will end this now. Let's see here. Stop share. Here we go. And yeah, we will, I'll record the first endocrine lecture now for you. All right.